All right, now that I have a hat on, I look so different, right? This is my disguise. Let's talk about Skin Game, which I read immediately after Cold Days. As I keep telling myself I'm not going to binge these, I did end up reading 6 Dresden books in a month and a half or so, something like that. They're really good, guys. Read these books. So let's talk about Skin Game, also known as...
Jump over the camera. Jump over the camera.
So yeah, there's a lot of parkour moments in this book. Harry is just a gigantic goofball, of course, and just yells parkour all the time. So you have, this is a kind of a different Dresden book. I'm like bobbing and weaving, man. I can't sit still. You have kids and you're used to rocking. I'm just like, this is me now. This is a heist novel. I mean, this is very different than the typical, Harry having to solve some kind of mystery that used to be, the serials that we got every novel. This one, though, you actually have Mab setting Harry up with a lot of villains to do a heist on Hades, the god of the underworld, Hades himself. So Harry has essentially 3 days to do this and do this thing for Mab before the parasite in his head explodes. He doesn't really know exactly what it is or what's causing it, but she gives him, she being Mab, of course, gives him an earring to sort of like suppress the headaches that are going on. And he is to link up with Nicodemus and build a tip-top team of evil people to go perform this heist. And the heist, of course, the vault that they have to get into is the land and location are owned by Marcone, so that's not good. It's one of those things that I feel like I should have seen clearly as a setup from multiple angles, because Harry's like, okay, Mab is making me work with Nicodemus, but I have, free reign to kill him if I want to after the job is done, but I do have to complete the job. But it's also on Marcone's land, so I'm going to piss Marcone off. I should have just seen right away that this is just a giant setup for Marcone and Mab. You have Nicodemus, Harry. Harry, of course, brings Murphy. Nicodemus brings Anna Velmont and Hannah Asher, I believe is the name. And then they recruit Goodman Gray. And then Harry is supposed to bring in, they also bring in Deirdre, Nicodemus's daughter. Is that all of them? I have them written down. And Binder. So some of these characters haven't played too much of a role. I believe Anna Velmont was last in Death Masks, maybe, so a while ago. Some of these, I think Binder made an appearance in Proven Guilty or sometime before. But a lot of these characters we haven't seen in a while. So, team of misfits, all different, supernatural powers, going to this vault to get the Holy Grail. That's right. Nicodemus wants the Holy Grail. So we have a lot of holy relics and items throughout this entire series. You have the swords of the cross. You have, the knights wielding the swords. They have nails in them from the cross. You've got the Holy Grail. This book, you end up having the Holy Lance. You've had the Shroud of Turin. You have all these holy relics that are powerful. They wield major power in this world, whether it's for good or for evil. Nicodemus wants the Holy Grail. So, of course, you have this team banding together, and Harry's trying to figure out, okay, how am I going to not break my word with Mab and have her kill me and not completely help Nicodemus because I don't want to give him any more power than he has. So you've got this whole internal struggle happening as they're breaking into this vault that is owned by Hades. Pretty early on, we get this great moment, though, where Butters is actually spying on them because he doesn't trust Harry at this point. He thinks he's kind of being a monster. And, I mean, for good reason. Harry really isn't himself. He can't completely control his urges and things like that. So Butters doesn't trust him. And, of course, Nicodemus catches wind of this, and they give chase. So they're chasing Butters back towards the Carpenter house, and Harry and Bob put on this whole, facade, basically pretending to battle to sort of give Butters time to escape because, I mean, in reality, if they wanted to get there and kill him, they could, but obviously Harry's not going to, so he stalls for time. They get to the Carpenter house. So, of course, once they get to the house, big, battle takes place because Nicodemus is going to betray them at some point, right? And he's trying to kill Butters, and he's, threatening the Carpenters and all this. Murphy, of course, pulls out Fidelocius, which he had hiding in her bazooka case, and goes toe-to-toe with Nicodemus. I mean, just total one-on-one. gives him a run for his money, is damn near about to kill him, and then Nicodemus sort of like gives himself up and is just like, I'm defenseless, go ahead and kill me if you can. And Murphy, not understanding how the sword works, Nicodemus does, goes to cut his head off, and it doesn't work. Like, her power goes away, she can't do anything because the sword only works when you have like a holy purpose and something to believe in. You can't kill a defenseless person. And of course, Nicodemus uses that to then take the sword. And I thought he was going to cut Murphy's head off, but he shatters the sword on the ground. And like, everybody sees this as like, holy crap, he just shattered Fidelicius, and then just basically obliterates Murphy. Like, she is crippled beyond belief. She's a mess. And that's when Michael comes out, and he's just like, okay, let them go. I will give myself up. You don't have to do this. Butters actually gives him Amarachius. Uriel comes down. They have this whole talk about like what angels can do and what they can't do, but Uriel, while not being able to heal anybody technically, he passes sort of his angelic being into Michael, and Michael chases Nicodemus off until next time. Like, we're not doing this here. Like, I will literally kill you. I'm an angel wielding Amarachius. That sort of settles the dispute for now. And then they have to go back to work. It's like, they have to go back to work with Nicodemus. And since Murphy is now crippled and a bloody mess, Michael steps in as part of the crew with Harry. And then this is when we actually get probably the most touching moment of the series so far, where, I mean, you have a lot of like emotional moments and sad moments. This is one of the happiest things that this book series has ever done, in which Harry finally decides to go meet Maggie face to face and sort of be her dad. And you just get this, and I swear, like, if I wasn't a parent and I didn't have 2 young kids, this wouldn't have affected me emotionally, because usually books and movies don't do that. But Harry sort of meeting Maggie, and Maggie being like, are you Harry Dresden? And then she's like, you want to be my dad and like color with me and read books? And it was just like this emotional, adorable moment of this dad getting to be with his daughter. And it just, like, even talking about it, because like I have kids, and when they do really cute shit, it makes you emotional. So it was just like the most heartwarming moment ever. Of course, me being me, I was like, okay, so something terrible is going to happen and ruin this moment. Luckily it didn't. But Harry's going to be in her life. He's going to be her father. Of course, it's going to be a lot of added risk, but she's going to have the protection of all kinds of people. The Knights of the Cross, Harry, the winter Fae, the summer Fae, probably just all these supernatural beings. Marcone will probably even help out. She's going to have a lot of people to go to bat for her, which is awesome. But it was just the most like adorable father-daughter moment ever. Caught me off guard, and it was great. And then of course, once you get back to the mission at hand, because they do have to go back to work and raid this vault, you have Harry and them sort of like breaking into each level of the vault. He takes care of this one like winter level essentially with all these like ice cubes. He like learns the pattern and then he messes it up. He gets through, but like everybody has like their specialty that they have to get through. Even to the point where Nicodemus they require a blood sacrifice, and he's like, one of you must die. He sacrifices his own daughter, and they like kiss beforehand, and she's like willingly sacrificing herself to get through this door, and it's just showing how much of a piece of garbage Nicodemus is. He literally sacrifices his daughter to get through this. But once they get through, like, it seems like it's going a little bit too well, and Harry is walking through, and he realizes he's in an armory that's just like stock full of holy weapons, and he's like, all right, here's the Grail, let's take it, grab him some things. And like, as he's doing all this, Hades is over here just like, hey buddy, what are you doing? He's like, nothing, what's going on? He's like, do you seriously think I didn't know you guys were here? I'm Hades, this is my house. Of course, I've been watching you this entire time. He just has like a candid conversation with him, gives him sort of like house rights, like, I'm not gonna attack you, we're not gonna fight, like, you're protected here, let's have a talk. And they, so they chat things out about what's actually going on. So then of course, once he gets back out with the Grail, he's like, here Nicodemus, here's the Grail, like, job's done, let's get the hell out of here. And then of course Nicodemus is like, oh great, hey, kill them, job's done. He's like, what? Of course, you were going to betray me. You're Nicodemus. So at this point, Asher and Janoskua, which I forgot to even mention was part of the group, the like big giant MFer, reveal themselves to be Lashiel and Ursiel. So Lashiel, of course, makes a comeback. She's laughing about how, oh, hey, that parasite in your head, by the way, yeah, that's our kid. Because they had a mental baby. Because Harry can't control himself and keeps having kids with supernatural creatures and not knowing about it, wear a condom. But of course, you know, fight breaks out. He orders Goodman Gray to attack. He's like, of course I will. And then he attacks Janoskua and starts taking him down because he's, you know, shapeshifter. So they all fight. Of course, Nicodemus gets out because he's a bitch. Nicodemus, as badass as he is, he runs away a lot, all right? He runs away a lot in this series. Of course, Nicodemus flying away, they're like, okay, shit, he's gonna go to the carpenter house. We have to get there. And as they get there, he's, you know, got Charity held hostage. He's threatening to burn her house down and watch, you know, her entire family burn. And Harry and them get there to fight. Harry's earring explodes and just like almost knocks him unconscious. Like he's out of the fight. It's basically down to like Butters. And Butters is just like, oh, all right, this is me. Like, Bob, let's go. We got to do our thing. And like picks up Harry's like hat and duster and is just going to go into battle because whatever. He's like, at least I could just, you know, die being a hero. And as he's about to do that, Harry, of course, throws a sword to Charity and it misses. And just like ding, ding, ding. And Butters just like, whew, just like fucking Thor with his hammer, just like summons that shit right to his hand, turns into a lightsaber, and just goes total badass mode. I was interrupted by this one, so I had to finish the video. Yeah, what are you looking at? But yeah, so Butters catches his sword, turns into a lightsaber, chases off Nicodemus once again, because he's very good at running away. So I'm sure we'll, of course, unfortunately have to see him once again, where now he is without his daughter. He's very mad at Harry. He's really mad at the Carpenters. He's been beaten again. He lost like all of his acolytes in this book. He's got nothing left to lose. So if and when he makes a return, it's going to be bad. Like he's going to talk like that. He's going to be pissed off. So Harry and everybody, I fear for you because Nicodemus is going to be, you know, what else does he have to lose? He's just going to slaughter when he comes back. So, of course, we do get, on a happy note, towards the end, you know, Harry visiting Murphy in the hospital and them smooching it up on the hospital bed. What, bro? What are you staring at me for? Exactly. That was my point. But, yeah, this book was great. It's fantastic. I loved it, not quite as much as Changes or Cold Days. I think I would put it right behind them, but this is one of the best Dresden books to date. Emotional beats that I wasn't expecting, a different style with it being a heist and really involving the villains. It was just a lot of fun. It was really well done. And I can't wait to read more. Even the stuff that I missed, because I always miss things in these books. Like Michael and Harry walking through the underworld, and there were like statues of like the Winter Lady and the Summer Lady, and Michael's like, does that one look like Molly to you? And he's like, what? No, there's no way. That's, what? You crazy? No. Why would it look like, no. So there's just a lot of good moments of that. I mean, the Carpenters obviously are going to have to learn that Molly is the Winter Lady, and it's going to be a mess when that Molly and Harry relationship happens, which I think it's going to. But great book, great series. I'm reading through Briefcases right now. Oh, buddy, you just woke up. Why are you tired? Reading through some of Briefcases right now before Peace Talks and Battleground, which are coming up in the next week or two. But stay tuned for that. And read Dresden Files if you're not, because it's great. So until next time, guys, keep reading. What? It's my mic. It's my microphone. What are you going to do? Hmm? What?